Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to work on some breakfast casseroles. So our first casserole is a hash brown and egg casserole. It's called the Easy Breakfast Casserole. Right now I'm going to whisk together 5 eggs and a half a cup of milk. Let me get a measure, which I probably do not have. So a half a cup of milk. Right. I'll whisk that together. Pepper, a little bit of salt, and then we are going to put in a half a teaspoon of onion powder and about a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. Get that off my hands. We're going to mix all that together. You need to already have your oven preheated to 350. And make sure that you're going to put this in a hot oven. Okay. It's about as good as it's going to get. Okay. Now, I'm going to set this aside. And I'm going to bring over my 9x13 pan. Make sure you can see. I've already sprayed it. And we are going to need 2 pounds of hash browns. In the bottom of this, we're going to pour it out. 2 pounds. Okay. And this is going to be kind of like a layering. So we're going to pour the eggs over the potatoes. Okay. And we're going to need half of the cheese, which is going to be 6 ounces, which is about a little less than a cup. Well, I tell you what, we're just going to do a cup. On top of this, cheesy potatoes. Okay. And then I have cooked some pork sausage or breakfast sausage and an onion. And I've drained it, and we're going to put that over the top of this. Make sure I get all those onions. You just need a little bit of onion, you know, about a small onion would work. I had some onion, excuse me, I had some onion left over from another recipe, so I just used it. But you want to make sure you get all the little pieces in there. And we'll put about another cup of cheese on top of this. And I'm using sharp cheddar, but you could use probably anything, I would assume. Okay. So just enough to cover it. And we're going to cover this with foil. We're going to bake for about an hour at 350 degrees. And that should do it. You just need to make sure your potatoes are cooked all the way and soft. Cheese is melted and your eggs are cooked. That's really important. Because a lot of these casseroles, these breakfast casseroles, for some reason the egg just does not get done. Then make sure you spray your foil before you put it on so it doesn't stick. 350 for an hour, but All ovens are different, so I would check at the 45-minute mark first, and then cook longer if you need to. All right, I'll see you back here in an hour. Okay, y'all, this is the finished product. It didn't take long at all, probably closer to 45 minutes than it did an hour. But it's all done. The potatoes are done, the eggs are done, and the cheese is melted. So this is just a perfect dump and go breakfast casserole. And it's super easy with all kinds of ingredients that we have already on hand. Okay, let's go take a look at the next recipe. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today's going to be a, we did one recipe very similar to this earlier in the year. It was little bites. This is going to be a whole casserole. This is a McGriddle casserole. I've already got my oven preheated to 350 degrees, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Went ahead and cooked a whole pound of bacon and chopped it up. Didn't use bacon pieces this time, y'all. Used the real thing. So I've already got that chopped up and set aside. And then we're going to go ahead and get our pancake mix, our milk, and our eggs mixed together. So this is 1.5 cups of pancake mix. And we need 2 cups of milk. So let me get that going. Okay, 2 cups of milk, 4 eggs, you can use any type pancake mix, but I'm using the protein, the one that has added protein in it, so just FYI there. And 4 eggs, so that's our 4th egg. All right, I'm gonna get my whisk real quick and let it do some of the work for this. Okay, about as mixed as it's going to get. Okay, next thing that you're going to add is cheddar, bacon, and maple syrup. So we're going to add all that. You will need all of the bacon. And I didn't, like crush it. I just took a knife and then just kind of chopped. So hopefully it'll all turn out good. I'm gonna go ahead and take this whisk out. Okay. And you're gonna need a heaping cup of shredded cheddar. So that's probably more like a 1 1/3 or 1.5 cups. And then you're going to need 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. I got my maple syrup at Aldi's and it was like 5 something. So it didn't cost too much. Okay. 3 tablespoons. All right. And so this is a lot like that other recipe that I was talking about earlier in the video. This is just in casserole form. and then you'll cut it into squares. So you're going to bake this at 350 degrees for about 30-35 minutes, or until everything has set up and your toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. And so right now, I'm going to get my baking dish. I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. Get me a spatula. And this is very wet, so I'm hoping that it's going to do good. Okay, 30-35 minutes, 350 degrees. I'll see you back here in a few. Okay, y'all, so this is the end of the day, and I'm getting my dinner ready for everybody. I made the McGriddle casserole. I'm just going to pick it up and show you because it's pretty sturdy. And I made some homemade grits. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of syrup over this. Not too much, just a little bit. And that's it. That's our dinner for tonight. But it makes a really good holiday casserole. Holiday breakfast casserole. And it's really simple. Dump and go one bowl kind of situation. And just put some homemade grits with it. And you got a meal. Okay, make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Hey y'all, welcome back. We're going to make a French toast casserole to go along with our series on holiday breakfasts that are supposed to be really simple, really easy. Some of these can be done overnight. This is no exception. This one as well can be done overnight. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. When you get a big loaf of French bread here, it's usually around 14 ounces. You need an 8-ounce loaf. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to cut the 1/2 in bite-sized pieces and then see, what we're working with once it starts coming together. And if I feel like it needs more bread, well, I'm going to take a short little break, cut up the rest of the loaf and throw it in there. So right now, I put a cup of brown sugar and 1 stick of unsalted butter in a pan, and I'm going to melt the butter and the sugar is going to dissolve, and that's what I'm waiting to happen now. I've already cut up my bread and set it aside, except for the other half, like I said. And then we will put together the milk, the eggs, and the vanilla to go over that. You're going to have to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And it probably needs to cook closer to an hour, just depending on how you like it, once you get started baking. Right now I'm just trying to get this melted, and this was in the fridge, so it shouldn't take too long though. Sorry if you're hearing a bunch of noise. I've got the washing machine. I'm sorry, the dishwasher, not the washing machine, going in the background. So a whisk is probably the best thing for this. You use a spoon, there's nothing saying that you can't, but whisk would, kind of break everything up and blend it a lot better. You're also going to need a 9x13 pan, greased and set aside, waiting. That's what we're going to bake it in. And Walmart has the best discounted or clearance breads. So if I were you, before I pay full price, I would check that out. Just to see if they had anything that was cheap. And you can most definitely make this in bulk, I would venture to guess. It seems pretty simple. Okay, so it's starting to come together now. And you're going to have to be really careful that it doesn't burn. And all we're waiting for is the butter completely melted and the brown sugar dissolved, and it is. Okay, so let me move my camera and then we'll start on the next leg of this. Okay, y'all, so you take your brown sugar butter mixture and put it in the bottom of your greased 9x13 pan, and then you're going to sprinkle your bread, cut into bite-sized pieces throughout. I think this will be fine. I don't think we'll need to use the whole loaf. I would like to make at least one of these first to see if it's too much sweetness versus not enough bread, you know, that whole thing. Okay, so scatter that over. And then we're going to combine our eggs and our milk and our vanilla, and then we're going to pour over this. So let me move this out of the way and let me get a bowl. Hey, y'all. So I've got my, hopefully you can see. Okay. I've got 6 eggs in here. And we need 2 cups of milk. So we'll pour 1. And I feel like I'm going to run out. Yeah. And you can probably use whatever milk that you use to make French toast with for your children or family. I'm sure it doesn't matter. Alright. And this is your basic French toast mixture with the eggs and the milk and the vanilla. Okay, I think it's good. All right. So, move this back. And we're going to pour this mixture over the bread. Okay. I can see where we probably need a little bit extra. So hang on just a second and we'll cut up some more bread. Okay, y'all, so put just a few more slices in to help soak some of this up. And I'm just going to let this sit for a few hours and then I'm going to put it in the oven. Your main goal is to do it for 8 hours or overnight. And you kind of want each piece to kind of soak up the egg mixture specifically. So you kind of need to press it and let it kind of soak it up. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just taking a spatula and kind of pressing it in. Okay. All right, so you're gonna cover this with plastic wrap. You're gonna let it sit. Optimal time's 8 hours to overnight. I'm just gonna let it sit for a little while and then I'm gonna pop it in the oven. But before we pop it in the oven, before we do that, we're going to make a topping that goes over it. So let this sit for a few minutes, soak all this up, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, y'all, so it's time to put this in the oven. Before we put the foil over it, I wanted to show you the topping. You just need about a tablespoon or so of brown sugar, just however much you want, and mix about 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon with that. And then I'm just going to sprinkle it over the top. This is going to be so good. All right. Now I'm going to cover it in foil because I don't want it to burn. And I'm going to go 350. What is that? Let me make sure because I don't want to tell you wrong. 350 from anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. The author of the recipe says that a lot of people say that an hour is better. So 30 minutes to an hour, somewhere in that range. And I'll be right back here when it's done. Okay, y'all, so this is the finished product. I cooked it probably closer to an hour. It's crispy on the edges. It has a really good caramely bottom to it. It's really good. I put some syrup on it. I made some hash browns to go with it and also some sausage links. And this will be our breakfast today. Perfect for any holiday. Hey y'all, welcome back. I've got another holiday casserole for you. So let's go ahead and get started on this. It is called Biscuits and Gravy Casserole. And I know that I've done one before, but this one's a little bit more convenient, I guess. The other one I think I had to make, I'm not sure if I used canned gravy, so you're going to need a 16-ounce can of biscuits. I just got Great Value. And you're going to take each biscuit and cut it into 8 pieces. Oops. And we're going to go ahead and put it in a 9x13 greased pan. And you need to have your oven preheated to 350 degrees. And I think I just did that wrong. 2, 4, 6. I did. Let's see. Okay, so I cut these into 6 pieces. I need to cut them one more time. We need to get 8 out of this. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7, and then one more time. 3, 6, 7, 8. And then we'll just cut another piece. So 8 pieces per biscuit. And I was cutting them, so 4, cut it in half, and then cut it 4 more times. There we go. It's been a long day. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay. Now this can be done overnight and sit in the fridge until you're ready to do it the morning of Christmas. So just keep that in mind. Tried to do all of these that way. You know, trying to keep in mind that some people would like to not put it in the oven until the next morning, but get it get it done ahead of time. Okay, so I've already cut these up. I put them in the bottom of my baking dish. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to add, you can do any cheese that you want. The recipe is going to call for white cheddar, and that's just really hard for me to find. So I'm just using my regular cheddar, but you can use anything. I think it even says that Gouda can be used. So we're not that fancy here, but you know, if you have that or you use that, then by all means you can use it. Add half of your 3 3/4 cup of cheddar. So half of 3/4 would be 1/3. I'm just guessing, y'all, I don't know. So I'm just going to add what I think will be about 1/3 because we still have more to go. All right, now we're going to take this and set it aside. Let me get a bowl because we need to put together the rest of, let me make sure y'all can see. Okay, and we're going to need a whisk. Okay. 6 eggs. Alright, 6 eggs, half a cup of milk, and some salt and pepper. After I wash my hands and get that shell out. Alrighty. Alright. Half a cup of milk. Okay, half a cup of milk, half a teaspoon of pepper, and half a teaspoon of salt. I don't want to do too much because the gravy may have a good amount of salt in it. So keep that in mind. Okay. This is going to be really simple. Make sure y'all can see. Okay. All right, I want to make sure those yolks are beaten really good. Okay. Hopefully I got it. I'm gonna set this aside just in case I need it. All right. Salt, pepper, milk, eggs. Okay. And so you're gonna take this and you're gonna pour this over. Okay, everything was combined just like it should be. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna go and open these cans of gravy. Let me show you what they are first. This one is what we're gonna be using. We're gonna need 2 cans of these. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so now we need to take this gravy and spread it out best we can. And you have pieces of sausage in this gravy, so I mean, it just smells like my sausage gravy that I make all the time. I don't know that we've ever used this. I can't remember. And so we're going to get it all out of the can. We're going to try our best to spread it. See, we can spread this a little bit. Great recipes. A lot of people would prefer like something warm Christmas morning. That it's a belly filler. And these casseroles are perfect for that. Okay. Try to spread it best I can. Okay. Now, the last part of this is some more cheese. And you're going to put the last bit of remaining cheese that you've got over top. Maybe doing a little extra. It's all right. Okay, so what I'm going to do, which I'm pretty sure that was more than a third. We're going to bake this for 35 to 45 minutes. I'm going to check it periodically. I don't want my cheese to burn. But you want the eggs to cook all the way. So you have a fine line there where you're having to try to keep one thing from overdoing with the other being underdone. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, and then when I see it starting to burn but the eggs are not done yet, we're going to have to put some foil on it. So just keep that in mind. 35 to 45 minutes at 350 degrees. You're going to let it sit for 10 minutes before you cut into it. Okay, I'll see you back here in a few. Okay, y'all, this is the finished product. Perfect casseroles for any holiday morning, breakfast, or anytime really. But it did great. The 45 minutes was plenty of time for everything to get done. I did tint it with foil at one point just to make sure, and everything turned out great. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.